Hey, what's going on, guys? Tobin here with you. Thanks for checking out the channel. The first night of free agency. It's been crazy. Big money deals being thrown all around, although not with your Miami Heat, who did make their first move of free agency. I'm recording this. It's like almost 9:30 Eastern time, so I will get to the first bits of free agency. If anything else big happens in the midst of it, then we'll make another video on that, man. But as we talked about in the last one, it was reported by Barry Jackson and Anthony Chang that the likelihood of Gabe Vincent returning to the Miami Heat was not looking great, and that turned out to be the case. Gabe Vincent, he is going to the Los Angeles Lakers. 3 years, $33 million for the Heat starting point guard. He is now going off to play with Anthony Davis and LeBron James, and good for Gabe Vincent, man. It's hard not to feel happy for him and feel great for his story, the kind of work that he put into this to develop. I saw a lot of people comparing this to Kendrick Nunn, thinking that's the same. Not the same to me. I mean, Kendrick Nunn, while a nice player for the Miami Heat, wasn't really in their playoff rotation. I don't think Spo had the level of trust in Kendrick Nunn that he did Gabe Vincent, who I think is just a much more complete player and matured more as a player. Definitely a better defender, like not even a question about who's better on defense. I think the Lakers have gotten themselves a really, really nice piece, quite frankly. But you can see it coming. Like I think that the Heat, showed a little bit of interest in bringing him out, but they had a bit of a budget on it. They weren't going to break on it, and apparently, according to Barry's reporting on this, that the numbers were something to the effect of, I think it was 3 years, 24 for Gabe Vincent to like 3 years, 33 from the Lakers. And, tax and all, you could do that hocus pocus with him. Like, I think that there is a level. It's kind of the same thing where it went to with PJ Tucker last year, where it's like, yes, you could do and you could spin the whole tax thing every now and then, and that'll work sometimes. But a lot of the times that is a status thing for players, and they do want to be respected. And PJ Tucker last year felt like he deserved the full mid-level exception. The Heat only wanted to go to a certain level. And same thing with Gabe Vincent. You look at this and you're just like, no, I feel like I'm going to be with the Lakers. He's going to be on a good team. He's going to be playing at home. I mean, this Gabe Vincent, handsome. I mean, like that dude is. I mean, I don't know how many Kardashians this Gabe Vincent is going to be. They're going to try and sweep him up into reality TV like that out there. But I'm happy for Gabe Vincent, man. The dude's a good player. Bam Adebayo giving him some love out there on social media afterwards, and it's definitely a shame to see Gabe Vincent go, for sure. The guy was just nothing but a great story, class act, a terror on defense. I saw Trae Young today. He was giving a little shout out to Gabe Vincent getting paid, and I think the first thing that came to mind for me was just like, yeah, this guy's thrilled to death that he doesn't have to face him now 4 times a year, doesn't have to face him in the playoffs anymore unless the Hawks got to the NBA Finals against the Lakers. So he has to be absolutely thrilled that that's not a thing. And then look, Gabe Vincent is going to deal with a bigger spotlight, that's for sure, because when you're on the Lakers, I mean, you are one of the teams that actually gets covered all year long nationally. They're going to treat him like he's Magic Johnson now. I had made that joke on Twitter that he's going to go from the undrafted scrub to being treated like the next coming of Magic Johnson, just like as a it wasn't a shot at Gabe. Gabe certainly is a very good player, but it's like all year and all playoffs, all we heard was the Heat, the undrafted, to the point where Spo was like calling the media out for disrespect. And now he's on the Lakers. It's like he's going to be shot to the moon, and they're going to act like he is a top 4 point guard in this league. And I saw today on Simon Sperling's Twitter account a clip of Kendrick Perkins saying that Gabe Vincent was the second best player on the Heat for most of the season, which is crazy. It's a crazy thing to say. Like he was a very important piece to the Miami Heat, but to say that he was the second best player on the Miami Heat, like what? Like I was wondering at a point, like was he confusing him with Caleb Martin for what he did in the Eastern Conference Finals? Good to be a Laker, dude. Good to be a Laker. So that is that. Now, as far as the Heat's concerned, We don't really have an answer on Max Strus yet. It appears that there was a report that he was going to the Cavaliers for a big bag, but apparently they're trying to finagle a sign-in, a three-way sign-in trade, something like that. So that doesn't seem like it's officially done yet. But the Heat's move on their side, they did bring back a couple of familiar faces. One, Kevin Love is back with the Miami Heat. Kevin Love has re-upped on a 2-year deal and is coming back. So that's a great thing. I think that the Heat, I'm excited to see actually what Kevin Love can do brought back in. And I'd imagine that, the plan is to start him, I would think, right off the bat. I think that, you kind of have him in that same role that you did last year. And I think, kind of a full summer of shape, what the Heat expect out of him. I'm excited to see what that looks like. Kevin Love's already, is one of the guys that he's gotten off to offseason training right away. I think this is great. I think that the Heat really appreciated what his leadership was last year. The trusting, having that veteran presence, and is a big, big deal. So I was happy to see that Kevin Love was brought back to the Miami Heat. And, I think that the Heat really value what he's going to bring. So I was excited about that. But the most exciting thing so far to happen tonight for your Miami Heat as of 9:30 is Josh Richardson. J-Rich is back. He has been re-signed on a 2-year deal, a player option for year 2. But J-Rich on a minimum. Apparently, Erik Spoelstra got on the horn with him. He had other offers. I think one was from the Celtics. I think the other was the Pelicans for more money. And apparently, Spo got on the horn tonight and recruited Rook 2 is coming back to the Miami Heat. And I'm very excited about this. Listen, dude, people don't know. If you don't know, I don't know. How young some of you Heat fans go back. Jimmy's been here 4 years. I don't know how many of you guys went back to the years before he was here with J-Rich. But J-Rich was a tremendous player for the Miami Heat. He really, really was. I think the thing that, the Heat, I think, pushed it to a limit with J-Rich where they really tried to make him like the go-to guy on the team. It was, the year, I would say, before, it was the year D-Wade came back from Cleveland. They were really trying to make J-Rich the go-to guy, and he, people got a little bit mad at him because he would step out of bounds all the time, but tenacious defender, big-time energy guy, pain in the ass to play against, a lot of the qualities that Gabe Vincent brings, decent shooter, and, it was fun. I remember having these debates about, like, when even there were people who were, like, not crazy about giving up J-Rich for Jimmy Butler. I know it seems crazy now to say things like that because of the run that Jimmy has been on, and it may be a classic case of overvaluing your guys, but just my point of it is J-Rich was a really beloved Heat player. People really, really like Josh Richardson on the Miami Heat. Very, very close with Bam Adebayo. His, him, Justice Winslow, and what the crew. That's what they would go with back in the day. Bam reacting to it on social media today. He was thrilled about it. And I love this move, man, especially the fact that Erik Spoelstra is putting his imprints on getting J-Rich back. He's just got a very, good relationship with him. Maybe bring Justice back, maybe bring Justice Winslow back. You bring Gogi back. Like I love a little nostalgia, love the reunion. But I think one of the things with J-Rich, J-Rich had one of these contracts that was like really, really movable. The Heat signed him to a really good value deal. So he was just like always a guy that everybody liked, and was always just in a deal because like he'd make a deal fit. He was dealt for stars. He was just kind of thrown around because, he just had a very tradable contract. He just became one of those guys. Like if you have a contract, honestly, Gabe Vincent's in that sweet spot right now. Don't be surprised if Gabe Vincent's traded a couple times from the Lakers if they try and go make a home run move. But J-Rich is, I love bringing him back. I think he brings a lot of the Gabe Vincent, not so much running an offense, but from, from a defensive perspective, from a, from a sign of a guy who can shoot and get it going. I think, the Heat feeling like they got him in a comfort zone. And I think one of the things that's interesting about this is that, the Heat don't have Udonis Haslem in the locker room this year. I do think that Spo probably wants more guys that he just knows that he can rely upon, guys that he really, really trusts and has a lot of knowledge of, when you don't maybe have that, that branch of Udonis Haslem to reach into the new guys of the locker room. So I love this move, man. I'm all about it. I think that you want to talk about just adding a quality dude and a quality player to a team that's going to lose a couple of. Listen, they lost a couple of quality guys today. They lost Gabe Vincent. They're going to lose Max Strus. So bringing in a Josh Richardson, I'm all about it. I think that I don't think I think you were able to keep up some of the things and get back some of the things that you lost in Gabe. Not everything. Not everything. They still clearly need a point guard. We all clearly, I think it's going to be interesting to see what number Jay Rich picks off the bat, or what if they hold off on the Josh Richardson jerseys because, they're waiting on a certain somebody else. But, yeah, man, I don't know what's to hate about this deal. You bring back a really popular player with the Heat on the cheap skis. He's close with one of your best players. He's a culture guy. He's a second-round pick. One of these classic stories of development that the Heat had gone through. Had put so much work into him, and he had put in so much work into to bringing this back. I just think it's really, really cool. I love this move for the Miami Heat. For a night that was like for a night that was getting a little bit anxious for Heat fans so far. Big fan of bringing back Josh Richardson to the Miami Heat. And what this brings to the table, see what's up with that, and we'll see what happens with Max Strus and where things go from there with that situation. But lose Gabe Vincent officially so far, bring back K-Love and Jay Rich, and we'll see where else this free agency frenzy leads to. I guess the only other thing I'll touch on this video: Kyrie Irving, no surprise, re-signs with the Dallas Mavericks for monster money. Fred VanVleet, there was some fodder Heat. Fred VanVleet, not trying to be cute there. He signed a monster deal with the Houston Rockets. I think that's. It was funny the thing. Like, there's not a lot of deals anymore that make me go like, "Wow, I can't believe that guy got paid that." Fred VanVleet getting paid $44 million a year from the Houston Rockets. I was like, "Damn, that is a lot of money." And it's kind of funny because I felt like that was the James Harden plays. I felt like that was the big rumor going in there. So them getting Fred VanVleet for that guy, I was like, whew, they paid the holy hell out of it. But you're the Rockets. You got to. So continue to follow what goes on the rest of the night. But Jay Rich, welcome back, dude.